Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to Ask Sarah from Texas. I know it's normally our time for Reality Water Cooler, but today we are not chatting celebrity news, reality TV, Jeff Lewis, and all the other things. We are going to chat the weight loss shots. Yes, what they are, what it can do for you, what the prices can vary, if it's available, how to get it, the side effects, all the things. Again, this is not medical advice. This is a conversation about my experience of being on Wegovy 0.25 for 1 week. I know, 1 week. And we also have a special guest, Susan, coming on, and she is going to answer all of our questions. So I will bring her on very soon. Get comfortable in comments. Please please tap the screen. We are also live on TikTok and YouTube. And then this goes up as a podcast everywhere at Sarah from Texas. So we want your comments. We want your experience. We want your questions, all the things. Clearly, I'm not going to be able to read them all, but I love when y'all get comfortable in comments. This conversation can also continue going at our Sarah from Texas Facebook group. So make sure you're in that. So anyways, let's get started. I do have a special guest today. Susan is going to teach us her experience, tell us her experience, and also give us some other information about the weight loss shots. I'm trying to get out of my phone. I do have the phones open, but I think we're going to do that later in the show at 713-489-8488. Okay, so I'm going to scroll this for a minute about the medical advice, how it's not medical advice. It's just a conversation about the weight loss shots. So many of y'all are interested in this, but also so many of y'all have experience, and a lot of people have been kind of hush, should we say, lying about it for 6 months or a year or two. We are not about lying here. If you know me, I'm all about the facts, honey. So I'm always going to be open with you and let you know that I did start taking this a week ago. So I am going to bring up Susan right now. Hopefully this works because I have not brought up a guest like this before. So we will see. Also, I sent out the link if other people want to join. It's kind of going to be on I'll kind of bring you up as it goes, but I am going to bring up Susan right now, and I hope this works. Hi, Susan. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm great. It's so nice to finally meet you face to face.
Yes. So as you know, we are chatting the weight loss shots, the GLP-1s of it all, the ins, the outs, the questions, everything. First of all, give me a brief introduction about yourself and also how people can find you on social media or email, what have you.
So I put my name right here. This is where I am pretty much everywhere, except I'm not on X. So TikTok, Instagram, most of the main places that you can follow me.
So real quick, on TikTok, they can't see you. This is at officially Susan, SUSAN, at officially Susan. Okay, right. Thanks.
Yep. And so I've been on a GLP-1 medication for coming up on 2 years. February 4th will be 2 years for me. In May of 2022, my doctor, it's right before Mounjaro came out, my doctor said, there's this new medication coming out. You might want to try this. I've struggled with obesity for my entire adult life. I've had 2 gastric bypass surgeries that failed. I mean, shocking. And it's just been something that I know a lot of people struggle with, and I'm right in that boat. So she suggested it in May for me to start in June, but I just wasn't sure.
Okay.
I thought, I don't know. And I think a lot of people have this hesitation. I don't know if I want to give myself a shot every single week. Like, am I going to be dependent on this for the rest of my life? Things like that. And honestly, I waited and I tried phentermine.
I haven't heard of that one. Okay.
Phentermine is it's a very inexpensive, it's a controlled substance. Okay. It's basically legal speed, and it's awful. I mean, you're losing weight, but you're not getting the same effects you are from GLP-1.
Okay.
It's just curbing your appetite and giving you more energy. And it causes a lot of people to lose sleep and get the jitters, and you can only take it for a couple of months at a time. Then you have to take a break because they don't want you to become dependent on it.
Is it between a shot form?
No, it's a pill. It's a pill.
It sounds like what was going around in the 90s. What was that pill that everyone's heart
That was
sped up?
fen-phen. So that was phentermine plus fenfluramine. And the phentermine is still approved. It's still very legal, and it's, okay to use. But personally, I've taken it a few times, and it's just not, the GLP-1 is just superior compared to phentermine.
Okay.
Fenfluramine was the one that they combined with phentermine, and that's the one that was causing heart murmurs. And so they finally took that off the market, the fenfluramine aspect of the combination of the drug. So, and now just phentermine is available. And probably a lot of people in the audience, if they've been struggling with obesity, their doctor has put them on phentermine or suggested it to them as well. It's very common. It's cheap. It's, it's not covered under a trademark anymore. So it has generic versions, like GLP-1s. GLP-1, my insurance would not pay for it, even though I had prediabetes and chronic obesity. I wasn't actually diagnosed with diabetes yet. My doctor said, hey, I can diagnose you with diabetes now, but I'm going to give you a few more months, and I want to put you on this Mounjaro, which is also known as tirzepatide. And that is a GLP-1, like what you're taking is semaglutide. And that's a GLP-1. So that one, it helps, it's a GLP-1 agonist. So it agonizes your GLP-1 hormone to produce more insulin. Well, the tirzepatide has a GLP-1 and GIP, which is the GIP hormone takes that extra insulin that your body is producing and puts it to work. So sometimes people get nauseous when they're taking the semaglutide, the Wegovy, or the Ozempic. And that's because your body is producing all this extra insulin. And sometimes your body hasn't quite figured out how to absorb it and put it to work yet, which can cause a little bit of the nausea. And there's other aspects with GLP-1s in general that can cause nausea. But that is one of the main reasons why there's more gastric side effects with semaglutide than there are with tirzepatide. You've got the extra insulin with no place for it to go. And then, so I was self-pay. My insurance wouldn't pay for it. But in 3 months, my A1C went from 7.6 to 4.1.
Wow.
So I was in diabetic numbers for a year, and she pretty much wanted to diagnose me as diabetic. But in 3 months, it went all the way down to 4.1, which is the low end of normal. And I had already lost, I think at that point, 35 or 40 pounds. I have kind of abnormal results. The first week I was taking it, I lost 14 pounds.
Wow. Do you mind sharing with us your weight? And can you explain a little more what obesity means? Because I think of the BMI of being 30 or more, but that's just a simple, not as scientific, like taking my height, 5'7". I'm currently, or last week I was 203 pounds. So when I did that, I think the math said 31.8. So I knew that was medically obese. But when you hear obesity, I think all of us think, 100, 200, 300 pounds. But lower weights can be drastically bad for our health.
Yeah. So I started out, my highest weight was 321. I'm 5'10". So, people always go, oh, you carry it well. Yeah, I'm tall. You were like, you carry it well. No, I didn't. I didn't carry it well. They're just being nice. And so when I started on the phentermine in 2022, because I wasn't quite ready to give myself a shot, I was at 300. And I lost 20 pounds. And so in February of 2023, when I started Mounjaro, I was 280. Wow. And so, and I'm at 180 now. And I'm still technically
5'10". At 5'10". And how are your health numbers? Cholesterol?
Well, everything's perfect. Everything's great. My doctor's like, you are better shape now than you were in your 30s. Wow. So, and I'm covered in layers right now, but I'm about a size 12. That's kind of where I am right now. I also have lipedema, which is a fat disorder that a lot of people don't know about. I didn't even know about it till about a year and a half ago. I was on a TikTok live, and this woman came into my live, and she was like, oh yeah, we were talking about GLP-1s. And she said, oh, I have lipedema, and it's been helping with my lipedema. And I was like, well, what is lipedema? And I was on my phone, and I got out my laptop, and I'm like, clickety clacking over here looking it up. And I'm like, holy cow. I was looking at pictures of what someone with lipedema looks like. And I'm like, that is me. I have lipedema. And lipedema, if your viewers want to, take a look, do a Google search of it. There's kind of a standard body type style that you kind of look like if you have lipedema. One of the main things that you might look for is if you see a woman who is very like normal looking on the top part of her torso, but then you get to her hips and they're very, very wide and lumpy, that person, there's a good chance. I'm not a doctor, I can't make a diagnosis, but if you look at pictures of like what the standard lipedema body looks like, that person likely has it. Now, not everybody has lipedema in their arms, but I also have it in my upper arms. So if you have somebody who has very large upper arms, that can also be like a different form of lipedema. But some people kind of refer to it as having cankles. So if you have very, very thick ankles or your legs kind of look like tree trunks, you can do that. So I've been able to reverse my lipedema even. I was stage 2.5 and now I'm stage 1.5. So my legs look more like a normal person. And as you can see, I'm in a Pilates studio. I don't know if you guys can see. I actually work at a Pilates studio now, and I'm working on getting my teacher instructor certification, which I never could have done that before at the body size that I was. I mean, I could have, but it would have been very difficult. But yeah, that first week that I lost 14 pounds, I really don't think it was fat that I lost. I'm pretty confident it was inflammation.
Okay.
And here's something that a lot of people don't know about GLP-1s is that GLP-1 medications increase the anti-inflammatory cytokines in your blood, which is what is reducing the inflammation in our bodies. I don't know if you've heard dementia being as type 3 diabetes.
No.
So doctors are now calling it type 3 diabetes. And these GLP-1 medications are now being studied in patients with dementia because the inflammation that they have on their brain is being reduced and it's causing a reversal. Not a complete reversal, I would think, but maybe depending on what stage of dementia that you're in, taking a GLP-1 medication to reduce that inflammation can help with your reduce or slow down your loss of memory.
Wow.
But it's being studied right now. So let's go back to the BMI that you were talking about.
Yeah, sorry.
My BMI was like
on YouTube. I'm sorry, I didn't have the button on my comments, so I apologize for that. Okay, go ahead. Maybe was saying my face already looks slimmer in a week. I'm like,
that's the first place we lose it, in our face.
Real?
Yeah, your face and then your shoulders, and most people it starts with gravity. Something about gravity and reducing that inflammation and puffiness, whatever you may notice. The first week I was on it, this may be TMI, but I peed and peed and peed and peed and peed and peed. Like I could not believe it. I wasn't really increasing my water intake. It was inflammation that I was losing, the water weight everybody always says.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Experience that too?
I'm full of TMI. Can you see the comments, Susan?
I can't see that. Are you on TikTok or where?
It's on YouTube. Comments on TikTok are only going to show up on my iPad, so I apologize for that, y'all. If you want on TikTok, if you want to get in comments to where everyone else can see them more, then feel free to join our YouTube live at Sarah from Texas podcast and just click on the live.
Let me go over to YouTube and see if I can.
Yeah, I think if I bring them up, you know what I mean?
Can you still see on the screen that I've switched over to YouTube? Okay.
Yes, I can. You see the comment now where it says face looks slimmer, Sarah? Because I brought it up on the computer.
Let me go live here.
Okay. Let's start from the beginning. I was going to say TMI. I have always gone to the bathroom a lot. I've always drank a lot of water, but I had failed in that the last few months. I was just busy. And I'll be honest, I wasn't taking care of myself and being healthy in a lot of ways with the eating and the water intake. But I'm peeing longer this last week. Does that make sense? So it's almost like my bladder doesn't feel fuller, but I'm peeing longer. So we're going to start from the beginning because I've got a couple of things. And of course, I want everyone to get their questions or comments, experience in the comments. But I want you to start with exactly who can get Ozempic? Because I would never think I would qualify for Ozempic because I think of that as being your A1C high. And my A1C is normal range. I had my blood work done at the end of September. So I personally am going through a medical doctor, a pharmacy in person to pick up the name brand Wegovy. That's not everyone's experience. that's just what I'm personally doing and what I felt comfortable with. And I will go into all the details of what I'm paying, why I chose that route, all those things. But I don't think I'm going to qualify for diabetes because I'm not diabetic. I'm just overweight.
So Ozempic and Wegovy are the same exact medication. They're both semaglutide.
Okay.
However, Wegovy goes up to a higher dose.
Okay.
So Ozempic is only FDA approved for people with diabetes. And I don't fully understand exactly why, but my rough understanding of why Mounjaro for tirzepatide for diabetes and Ozempic for semaglutide for diabetes, why they're protected is because that is a more serious condition that people need to have it available. Right. So the FDA can sort of put a lockdown on that medication that only people with diabetes can use it. So then they went and got Novo Nordisk is the one that makes Ozempic and Wegovy. And they got the FDA approval for obesity. Now Wegovy has also been approved for sleep obstruction, sleep apnea, and cardiovascular disease.
Wow.
So if you were just taking it for chronic obesity, it's very difficult to get your insurance company to cover it. They don't want to cover it because it's very expensive.
Yeah.
The good news is that Medicaid has approved Wegovy now to be used for obesity care, sleep apnea, cardiovascular. I'm not sure which one. I think sleep apnea.
Okay.
So now that Medicaid has approved that they're in negotiations now with Novo Nordisk to reduce the price of the medication.
Okay.
I started out on Mounjaro, but because I didn't have full-fledged diabetes, per my doctor's non-early diagnosis, I was self-pay. And I used a coupon from I get mine from Eli Lilly, which is Mounjaro and Zepbound. Zepbound is the Wegovy equivalent. And I was paying with the manufacturer coupon $550 a month out of pocket.
Wow.
Which at the time was, for anybody, that's a lot.
Absolutely.
However, yeah. So, but I ended up saving about $200 a month on groceries and not eating out. So I was able to balance it out that way. I rarely will stop at a fast food place now. And if I do, I don't get the whole shebang. I just get like a burger with just, like a lettuce wrap or something like that.
Okay.
That's all I want. So for you to be approved for obesity care, you need to have a BMI of 30 or higher, or 27 or higher with a comorbidity. And a comorbidity would be the sleep apnea, PCOS, even cardiovascular disease, which is high blood pressure. That's the most common cardiovascular condition. Or other things. You might have an autoimmune condition or something to that effect. So 27 or higher with a comorbidity, 30 or higher if it's just chronic obesity. Most of us who have chronic obesity. How can we figure out
the accurate BMI? Can you talk a little bit about BMI? Because I think a lot of us, again, think it's someone 100, 200 pounds overweight. 30 BMI physically looks like a normally healthy person. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, like I am still considered in the overweight category of BMI. Now, I think that the BMI calculator now for the diagnosis of obesity is now not the only thing that doctors will use in diagnosing it. They've just come out, I forget the name of the medical association that came out with it, but they've now, it's going to be more than one factor that they use besides BMI. But you can go, there's something called the letter T, D as in dog, EE calculator. If you just Google TDEE calculator, it's a BMI calculator. It's a very common one that's used. You type in your height and your weight, and it'll give you your BMI.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but if you want to be approved for that, then, but I'll just say this. I don't know how your insurance worked. Was it difficult to get your Wegovy approved?
Okay. So I'll tell you mine. So around November, a friend was on Wegovy and she looks about like me. Okay. I'm probably a size 14. I don't even know because I've just been buying sweatpants lately. So I had to buy all new clothes. But I was
Relatable.
right. So I was gaining a lot of weight since like, August through now. I mean, just climbing, gaining weight over the year, but just climbing the last few months. I mean, holidays, whatever. So a friend that looked like me, again, I really thought all these people that looked like a size 10 and were on Ozempic, I'm like, oh, this doesn't make sense to me. I'm not overusing whatever. I looked at and she said, check your insurance and just see. So then again, this is 2024, okay? The end of 2024. So for my insurance, it's all about the deductible, okay? So I looked and it said Wegovy, which was the one I thought they would cover since I'm not diabetic, but I'm overweight. And it was $35 a month. I said, well, shit.
How lucky are you?
Right. I'm very appreciative. But I said, shit, why wouldn't I try this for $35 a month? But so they sent it through. They sent it to my pharmacy. I didn't pick it up because I was about to have a scheduled colonoscopy. And my friend had also said, don't start it. You've got your colonoscopy coming up. And I said, it's fine. It's the holidays. I was nervous about taking, not the shot physically. I was nervous about the scientific part of it. Is it okay? Am I one of those people taking advantage of something when I feel like other people need it more? All these things, lots of confusion going through my head. And it's the holidays, right?
Yeah.
So I go to pick up a different prescription and they said, it's at my pharmacy. And they said, we have your Wegovy ready. And my brain went, oh my gosh, this really happened. It really went through. They said it's $35. And I said, I think they told me they had put it back. They had a prescription. They had put it back and it had only been like 4 days since
it's sometimes it goes into shortage. And so it's really, and also it's refrigerated. So they can only order a certain amount of time. So once it's filled, you need to go pick it up as soon as possible.
Okay. Yeah. So I just thought, okay, this is really happening. Like it really is $35. So forget about it. All these things. Then January rolls around and no, I'm sorry. This is November. I just Google out of the blue, like how to get these medicines. And I came up personally with a company called Plush Care. I have no affiliation.
I went through them.
Okay. You're saying no.
I had no I went through them and I did not
have a good experience.
I tried them in the summer of 2023 and the medication that I got, I feel like was not the proper strength.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't recommend.
My experience was in 15 minutes, I had an appointment with a doctor, not a doctor, not PA, not a nurse, a doctor on Zoom. She was so not ready to just throw this medicine at me. She's the one, I'm sorry, backtrack. She's the one that gave it to my pharmacy. Okay. Long story short, she said, I can't give you Ozempic. I think your Ozempic is covered at nothing, but I can't diagnose you with diabetes because you're not. I'd also just done blood work. So I was sending her my pictures of my, what's the app, my website with my medicine, my recent blood work. She wanted to see my A1C. She wanted to see my weight. She wanted to see my cholesterol, all these things. Cannot think of the word. And so I felt like she was very, like, not just throwing it at me like candy, which I respected and appreciated. Okay. So when it finally went through, I was like, oh my gosh, fast forward to January, I go to get it and it's $1,600 a month without insurance. With my insurance, it was $1,285, I believe. That is without the coupon. Whatever the coupon was on Wegovy didn't work. It should have worked. I think my pharmacy messed it up, to be honest with you. I switched pharmacies because then my pharmacy didn't have it. So then I switched the prescription to another pharmacy that did have it in stock. Okay, so so I have that, and then in the meantime, I made a Zoom appointment with my primary physician and told her, hey, I'm thinking of starting this. This other online doctor recommended it. She approved it. She said, I'm thrilled for you. Keep going. So far, I haven't had any issues. But I believe what happened is as of January, I now know that with Wegovy in particular, we have to meet our $8,100 family deductible. I didn't even know there was a family. I didn't know prescriptions went towards a family deductible. I think it's just this GLP-1s for my insurance.
Probably. They're doing everything they can to not have to pay for these medications. Whatever legal way they can wiggle through, insurance companies do not want to pay for this.
Yeah. So in my brain, of course, I just paid it because I'm like, I am not paying. In
Yeah.
my brain, it made sense. I'm very frugal in
Mhm.
whatever with our money. Family of 7,
You're
one
going to hit
income.
that deductible fast. That's for sure.
I called my insurance and said, when did we meet our deductible last year? Last year in 2024, nothing big happened to any of us. Okay. It was a
Thank goodness.
normal,
Yeah.
thankfully, it was a normal
Yes.
medical year. We hit our family deductible in August. So my thought was, if I'm going to meet our deductible anyways, what's it matter? Then it makes all the other doctor's appointments a lower price because the way our insurance works, we don't have copays. We just pay. If
Oh,
the
that's
bill's
great.
173, we pay 173.
Yeah.
We just pay outright. So in a way, I feel like soon enough, this Wegovy is going to be $35 a month, and we were going to meet our deductible anyways. So please
Yeah.
tell me that makes sense financially. But anyway,
It does. It does. It makes sense.
Works.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the more I look
Health
into
insurance is tricky.
Very. So I think, and it doesn't matter because right now I'm prescribed Wegovy. I think if my doctor switches it to Ozempic or a different one, I think it's zero. I don't think I have to pay anything towards my deductible, which
That's
of course
great.
I will choose, but I'm not diabetic. So
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Well, because I was self-pay, I was paying that $550 for a year. And then last January, they increased the amount of the price, and they decreased the coupon. So then it was only going to be, I could only use the coupon for 6 months, and my medication was going up $100 per month.
Wow.
So I was going to be paying $650 a month, and I could only do that for 6 months. And then I would have to pay the $1,400, depending on which pharmacy I went with, out of pocket. And I was like, I need this medication. It's making my joints feel better.
Right.
I feel better as a human being. I've lost weight like I've never lost before. My A1C is down. And I'm going to have to probably take this medication long-term, maybe for the rest of my life. That's just where I am. I'm insulin resistant. Thanks to probably the standard American diet. I think that's probably what's happened to all of us, that has caused all of us to have insulin resistance. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. Just based on what I've read about the standard American diet and how it has changed our bodies and how we process food. Now, I did a lot of research for a couple months. I did pay that $650 that first month. And then for about 6 weeks, I actually went off of it for a couple of weeks because I was looking so hard for the best company with the best deal and the safest medication.
Okay.
And because I'm a part of the quote GLP-1 community on TikTok, I had access to a lot of people who had a variety of experiences across the board with different kind of providers. And I ended up choosing a company called Amble Health. And after a few months of being on their medication, which was a different experience than the compound that came from Plush, I ended up contacting the owner and asking if I could become an affiliate for Amble. And I am now an affiliate for Amble.
So tell me more what that means. And can you spell Amble?
Amble, Amble. There's a link in my, I have a YouTube. It's under the same name, Officially Susan. I believe the link is there. I haven't really posted much on YouTube. I'm still kind of new with all that stuff.
Yeah.
But TikTok is where I do most of my posting. I have about 14,000 followers on TikTok. I have probably just a few hundred on Instagram because it was a personal account. And then when TikTok went away, I went ahead and changed it to a public account. I share a name with a famous Susan, which is why I changed my name to Officially Susan.
Okay.
I went ahead and put my last name on my Instagram. So Cindy Brady from the Brady Bunch, Susan Olson. I am also Susan Olson, but I am not Cindy from the Brady Bunch. We're about the same age, and I get DMs from her.
Susan? Do you like pigtails?
Yes,
I love her pigtails.
Yeah. So I would get DMs for her all the time. Oh, I loved you on the Brady Bunch. I'm like, I'm not her. So it's hilarious, which is why
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
resemble her too,
As
but
a joke, I just kind of made my name officially Susan, and it
yeah.
stuck. So,
Okay.
but over on Instagram, if you, and I think on YouTube, I've got my link tree, and you can go there. I'll just say I'm open to talking about GLP-1 from anybody. If you
Okay.
can get the name brand from your insurance, if you can afford it or out of pocket, or if your insurance pays for it, by all means, please get the name brand. I really, if my insurance covered it, I would get the name brand.
Okay.
But
Can you tell me why real quick?
just because so compound medications by themselves are not FDA approved.
Right.
The facilities are the ones that are either FDA approved or not approved, accredited, really, actually. So
Okay.
Amble only uses FDA accredited compounding pharmacies. And that means that the FDA monitors the sterility, the quality of the product, the accuracy. So they monitor everything. They don't monitor each individual medication, but with the name brand, each individual medication, the batches are FDA monitors. So if you're looking for like the cleanest, best quality medication, you're going to get it from the manufacturer. Second best is going to be from an FDA accredited pharmacy. And you're looking for pharmacies that are 503A or 503B FDA accredited. So if you're going through a company that has one of those types of pharmacies, you can rest assured that your product, that facility, is being monitored. And they'll revoke it. Yeah,
I
they'll
would have never
revoke. Yeah.
known that.
Yeah. So, and I trust Amble. I know the owner of Amble. He is also a GLP-1 user, which is why he started the company. He's like, this is ridiculous that these medications cost so much money. And so we have, in my opinion, maybe there's something less expensive out there, but we have the lowest price. Semaglutide is $179 a month. And that includes the doctor visit. And there's no other fee. That includes the doctor visit, which is, it's all chat, by the way. You're not going to see a face-to-face doctor. It's all chat. So
I love a chat situation. Don't we all love that?
I go to my regular doctor and I get a prescription for Mounjaro, but since I can't pay for that out of pocket, I take that knowledge from I still have a relationship with my regular doctor.
Okay.
And Amble only also uses medical doctors. They do not use nurse practitioners or what's the other one?
PA? No,
PA, yes. Yeah,
PA
they don't.
Okay.
Yeah, they do not. They only use medical doctors.
Okay.
So the process kind of looks like this. If you go to my link, which I appreciate, you don't have to go to my link, but I would appreciate it.
At officially Susan everywhere. At officially Susan.
Yeah, everywhere. My Instagram has it. My TikTok has it, and YouTube. They all have it.
Okay.
So go to my link tree, and you can choose between tirzepatide or semaglutide. Semaglutide is $179 per month for all doses, and that includes the doctor visit, the medication, and FedEx shipping to your home or wherever it is you want it to go. You don't have to go pick it up at a pharmacy. You don't have to hold your breath and cross your fingers. Do they have it in stock? Right. They're going to send it directly to your home. And you can renew, I think it's every 22 days, you can renew your prescription. So the first time that you get a prescription through Amble, you're going to get the first 3 months in one vial. But you're only going to pay month to month. So for 3 months, you'll pay $179. And then after that, you can check in and you can decide if you want to continue on a month-to-month basis or if you want to cancel. It's up to you. And there's no cancellation fee. There's no membership fee, nothing. $179, the price, they tell us the price you see is the price you pay. Now, tirzepatide is more expensive because it is a dual agonist. You have two. Right. You have the GIP hormone agonist and you have the GIP. So GLP-1 and GIP. In the clinical studies, it showed better results and fewer side effects. So if that is more, that's okay in your budget, the first starter pack, with the GLP-1 starter pack is only $179 a month, but with the tirzepatide, it's $289 for the starter pack, the 3-month starter pack. And then after that, if you continue at 7.5 milligrams or higher, it would go up to $329 per month. So that's what I'm paying. I'm on the highest dose. I'm on 15 milligrams, but I've been on it for 2 years. So, but you'll start out. You may not even need to increase every month. That's how the FDA studies were done, because they have a limited amount of time. So they had to increase every single month. So some doctors prefer that you increase every single month. But if you're good, if you're losing weight and your food noise is off and you're satiated just fine on the lower dose, stay on the lower dose as long as possible, because you end up maxing out. And once you max out, you can't go any higher. Like that's it. You can't go any higher than on tirzepatide's 15. I can't remember what it is on semaglutide. But yeah, so those are that. Now there are lots of other companies out there that are trustworthy.
About the other companies, we're hearing the radio ads and the membership fees and the row.com and I'm naming all these brands. And to be clear, you and I have a brief DM history or relationship. I have nothing to do with her company.
Yes, she does not. It's me only.
I wanted you on because you have 2 years experience of this.
Yes.
I have 1 week and I feel like I want to yell from the roof how amazing this is. I will also say I gave everyone a little homework, which was to watch the Oprah Winfrey special that is called, what is it called? Shame, Blame, and the Weight Loss Revolution. It's an Oprah special that's an hour. You can find it on Hulu, find it on your Xfinity or whatever. Just search however you get your.
It might even be on YouTube.
Oh yeah. So Oprah Special, Hulu. Shame, Blame, and the Weight Loss Revolution. I watched that, I think Friday night.
That's a good episode, because even so, the two competitors, Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, the representatives of those two companies, are guests on the show, and they're coming together. They fully believe in what's happening, and so they came
next
together
to each other. Yeah,
that says something.
Because I can tell you, I went on it and I make very fast decisions, and then I was like, what am I doing? I never knew. I have a girlfriend that is about a size 8 or 10. She has been on it, getting it from Canada for about a year. And I kept thinking, why are you on this? I've been out with you. I've been on vacations with you. I've never seen you overeat. I've never seen you struggle with food. She is the first one months ago that mentioned the word food noise. And I was like, what are you talking about? This Oprah special is what explained it to me. And I could literally cry when I tell you it took away the guilt.
Yeah.
It took that thing off my back that was saying, when you make a good food choice, you're good, Sarah. When you make a bad food choice, you're a bad Sarah. And
oh gosh, girl. Same. I'm 2 years into it. I've already felt all these emotions. I felt it all, because we are told that it's our fault that we are big, that we're gaining weight. We are told it's our fault. And it's really, honestly, it's our brains are screaming at us that we're hungry, and you don't know what it is until it has been turned off. Did you feel that food noise get turned off when you started taking it?
I swear to you, I took it on a Monday night around 6 p.m. And I thought, this is mental. What is people talking about? You got to remind yourself to eat. I'm like, for fuck's sake, I've never had to remind myself to eat. I am the girl that growing up, my family and I would go out to dinner, and I would come home and I'd go, what are we having for dinner? And they were like, we just went out to eat. I'm like, oh yeah, I've never been overweight. And I come at this from a child, from an adult, from a college person, from when I got married, I was a size 6. I mean, I come at this without that history of weight. So I think for me, it was always the guilt of like, what is going on this last 6 or 8 months? Why is this so out of control for me? But then I realized, for me, alcohol is a non-issue. Okay. I can have alcohol in the house. I can go out. I can be around 10 friends that are drinking. It is an absolute non-issue for me. Oprah Winfrey special and going on Wegovy proved to me that not everyone has this food noise. I am one that focuses on food, and it's not about being an emotional eater. I don't feel like it's just that I was always thinking about food. What's for dinner? What's for a snack? Am I a good person for choosing that? Or am I a bad person for choosing that? I realized the same way some people hyper focus on alcohol and kind of white knuckle things so they won't drink. I was mentally white knuckling
Yep.
with food.
Yep.
And that special really explained it to me. And like I said, took the guilt and the confusion away from me of like, oh, not everyone has this. And I
Yeah.
am a person, that's why when you go on it, you might need it for a lifetime, because just like, your cholesterol gets lowered, you don't go off it because your cholesterol is low. Your cholesterol is low because you're on medicine. My
Yeah.
food noise went away because I had it. Not everyone has food
Mhm.
noise. Can you
Yep.
explain, can you put it in words better what food noise is? Because it's kind of a catchy
Yeah.
phrase, but I really
No,
didn't understand it when my
that's a
girlfriend
great
said it to me.
point. Because so let me ask you this, when your food noise got quieted down, what did you feel on the inside? Did you feel like, for me, I felt like a sense of, it's not like a loud noise and then all of a sudden it's silent. It's more like for me, it was more like a peaceful feeling around food. I wasn't constantly thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be out of the house all day long today. Do I have enough snacks in my purse? And I wasn't thinking about on the way home, where are the fast food places I can stop to eat? Which one of these places will my family want me to bring home food if I stop and get this food? But
Oh my
now I
God.
don't even think about it. I get home and my husband's like, "Did you bring home food?" I'm like, "No, I didn't even think about it. I completely wasn't even thinking about food on the way home." So yeah, and
Absolutely.
he's just started taking it too, by the way. He just
Okay.
started taking tirzepatide. He also struggles with, he's a former college athlete. And yeah, he was a NC2A champion swimmer. And then
Oh,
but over
swimmer
the years,
snotty.
yeah, I
I
know.
didn't even have to cry. I feel like I'm snotty
No,
now.
it's okay. It's like, go get a tissue, get a tissue. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm good.
Um,
Okay, you asked
yes.
about
Is
my
that
food
how you
noise.
feel? Yeah. Did you feel a sense of peace?
So now I'm on day 7. So I have noticed a little more interest in food over the last 3 to 4
Mhm.
days. Somebody just put that for some people, like they after day 5, they lose 50% of that food noise. In other
Mhm.
words, their appetite increases, if you will.
Mhm.
For me, it's almost like I am thinking of food, and it's so different. I was never oh, I'm gonna diet on Monday. Oh, I'm gonna start my diet. I was just never that girl. I would always say, and I have 5 children, and 4 of them are daughters. So I'm very responsible with my actions and my words
Mhm. We're
about
very
how I
similar. I have
treat.
3 daughters. I have 4
Yeah.
kids and 3 daughters. Mhm.
Yes, I'm very intentional with how I treat and talk about in my actions about being healthy or not, for obvious reasons, right? And
Yeah.
I was never that person, but for me, this took away all the focus on food. It's like you're right. It just is a sense of peace. It's a sense of
Mhm.
like, let me do all these other things, and food is
Yes.
like instead of living to eat, I'm eating to live. And that sounds
Exactly.
so,
It's
but it's
intuitive
so
eating is what it
true.
is. You're eating intuitively now. My body is hungry,
Yeah.
I will feed it. I'm
And I'm
full, I will
craving
stop eating.
protein. I'm
Yes.
craving the healthy foods.
I
And for
don't
me,
want the sweets anymore. And like who on that special, the Oprah special, I can't remember if it was Oprah or if it was Amy. Amy's her guest. Amy and I know each other on social media. Amy and Half. She was
okay,
the brunette guest that she had on there. Um, her username is Amy in Half on Instagram and TikTok. I don't know if she has a
okay.
YouTube or not, but she's very knowledgeable. She's been on Ozempic, and I think she might take Mounjaro, but she has type 2 diabetes, so she was started taking it for a different reason. But I can't remember if it's her Oprah that talked about the bagel, the bagel. Where like
Half a bagel versus
you still want a bagel, but you're not going to eat the whole bagel. You might eat a fourth of the bagel or half of the bagel, and then you're fine. You don't need to eat the whole thing and then go back for another bagel. You eat until you're full, then you stop eating and you're good.
for me, my brain just moves on from that too. I'm
Yes,
not
that's a
I
good way to
felt
put
like,
it. Moving on.
yeah, I felt like I was mentally patting myself on the back if I made a healthy food choice. And then I
Mhm.
was also mentally beating the fuck out of myself if I ate
Yep.
ice cream and this and that. And, I was always honest about portion control. Even if I eat healthy, I was eating a lot. That's kind of been my
Mhm.
whole life. But
Sure.
I was lucky in the sense that I've always loved working out. I mean, I've gone to the gym since I was 15 years old. I'm now 51 years old. So I enjoy working out. but the food was always the struggle. I'm like, I'm eating even a lot, but also as my hormones changed or whatever, around 42, I hit the wall where I thought, oh my God,
Me too.
this is what people are
Same
talking about
exact
when they
age
don't
for
lose
me,
weight.
42.
Yes, about 42. Because at my 40th birthday party, I was around a size 6. I'd lost all my weight from having 5 babies after about a year after she was born. Went to the gym. There was no GLP-1s, no whatever. I easily lost 40 pounds. And then it just stalled. And I was shocked and confused and disappointed. Like, wait, what? But
so our bodies stop producing as many cells as they did when we were younger, which is why we get wrinkles, which is why we tend to lose our hair, which is why our lady parts don't work as well as they did before. Because when you're younger, your cells are regenerating at a higher speed. It's also why when we drink alcohol, we don't recover as faster as we did when we were younger. Because our just all the cells in our bodies just do not reproduce as quickly as they did before. And that's why we slow down with our weight loss, and we slow down, we start to lose our hair or whatever the thing is, the elasticity in our skin, whatever the reason is. It's just because our bodies are just not, that's why consuming collagen is so important, not just protein, but collagen. So I don't know if you want to talk about the things, the appropriate things to eat when you're on a GLP-1. And what to avoid. I think that's really important because
let's go to questions real quick and just
sure. And by the way, I'm reading your comments on YouTube, and you have some of the sweetest, most supportive followers. I'm reading that these things are like they care about you so much, and I think it's beautiful. The community that you have built here for yourself and your followers is just absolutely so sweet. Like, it gives me the goosebumps how sweet they are to you. They're so nice.
Well, they're sweet. I'm not even pregnant. Why am I emotional today?
I know. I'm starting to get teary-eyed. It's not even me.
They're sweet to each other.
That's beautiful.
Care about each other. Like, it started out as me like talking in summer of June of 2022 about Jeff Lewis and my radio show that I would listen to. And I really had no friends to talk about Jeff Lewis live with because they were like, who is that? I don't even listen to that show. What are you talking about? And then it kind of grew into, I also watch Bravo. I also watch TLC. I also watch 90 Day Fiance. Oh, let's talk about that. And then it became, I also love talking about the TikTok ban or I love talking about anything I'm interested in. And then I thought, you know what? I am starting this GLP thing and I have so many questions and I'm so confused. And I knew that everyone else was. So I was like, let's chat about this. But the same community, we have other interests. It's just we started off as like reality TV, Jeff Lewis Live, but we've all gotten.
I've watched you grow. I've watched you grow over the last couple of years, and I think that I'm like really proud of you how you've been able to build this little community. I think it's great.
It's really good. A lot of us have met in person. We chat on the phone. They DM. I have an Instagram subscription where we have a private chat. I mean, we have a Facebook group. It's really amazing. Y'all are so sweet.
They are sweet.
Stepping up.
Yes, all the hearts. I love it. It's so sweet.
Thank you. But yes, let's talk about. Put in the comments a really quick nutrition or side effects. Put in there what you want to hear her talk about. That way we can make sure if you have a specific question. Again, this is not medical advice. That you can make.
This is anecdotal experience that I have had and anecdotal experience I have learned from other GLP-1 users. So I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm just somebody who has done a lot. I've had a lot of time on my hands. I've done a lot of research and I've experienced this for 2 years. So, and I've talked to many medical professionals about my personal experience. I've dabbled a little bit in different the name brand. I've tried different compounds. I've tried different methods, different doses, and I've not ever taken Wegovy. So that's good that you've got that balance there because I have not taken Wegovy. One of my daughters is on Wegovy, and then I have another daughter who's on tirzepatide. And here's something really interesting is that my daughter that's on tirzepatide is not on it for weight loss. She is a recent college athlete herself, also is a college swimmer.
Okay.
So it's not really weight that for her, it's OCD. She has, Yes, she has OCD, and when she takes tirzepatide, it quiets the ruminations. It quiets, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so it's also all these GLP-1 medications are being studied for OCD, depression, anxiety, addiction, because
Yes.
people who
Alcohol,
are
right?
alcohol or nicotine addicted and drug addicts as well, they're all
Wow.
being studied for
I met
the effects
someone
of it.
I met once someone recently that had smoked socially, but 4 to 5 cigarettes a day, she said, for
Mhm.
40 years. She
Wow.
went off of it, off of the weight loss shot. She thought smoking was disgusting, and I'm like, "Wow."
Yep.
Okay, some of these
That's
subjects real
really
quick,
common, by the way.
that's amazing because I told her, I said, "Oh my," she also got the gastric sleeve recently. So, and I
Mhm.
told her, I said, "Look, you just stopped smoking. Now you've got the gastric sleeve. Like, girlfriend, your life is about to explode. Like, you are about to live like you've never lived before." I'm like
Yep.
so excited for her. Okay, some of the things. Somebody asked about, hold on, I just saw it. Southern
I saw
Bell cells. How are you dealing with digestive problems? Southern Bell cells, can you be specific or do you want be a little more specific, but in
I
general
think I
speaking,
know what I
okay.
do think I know what she's talking about if she's saying digest.
Constipation?
So these well, there's many different things. So there's first and foremost, this medication slows down your digestive process. And the best thing that I can say is when you're first starting to take this medication, stop eating the moment you feel full. Don't take another bite. If you're like, I'm full, put the fork down. I don't care if you already have a nice, delicious bite on it, just put it down. You can always come back to it in, 10, 15 minutes, whatever, because if you overeat, it's going to make you, it might give you what some people might call the sulfur burps.
I've heard of
I don't know
that.
if, yeah, or the burps in general. I don't get the sulfur. I do get burps.
I get regular burps, I think a little more than normal, but it's not
And it
it's
also
not
depends
off
on
the
what I'm
chart.
eating. Like if I'm eating carbs or sugar or carbonated drinks or something like that, then I get more burps than usual. So in order to help with your not back up, a lot of people are like, oh, gastroparesis. That's like one of the really scary side effects people talk about. In order to avoid gastroparesis, stop eating the moment you feel full.
Okay,
Just
great
stop
information.
eating. It will also help with
Constipation, tell us about that.
constipation. It will also help with the other, the faster side, the opposite of constipation.
Okay,
So constipation, there's a couple things that can help with that. Digestive enzymes. There's a variety of them on the market. I do represent a company that just started called Plume, and they have created a whole series of nutritional supplements to help people specifically who are on GLP-1 medication. So if you're interested in going read, they're all natural ingredients. That link is also in my bio. But again, you can go to your grocery store or your pharmacy and just look, or even on Amazon. I think I got
right.
the first time I ever got digestive enzymes, it was on Amazon. And I got something called super enzymes by Now, NOW. That to me has worked great. I don't have to take it all the time. I just take it occasionally. If I feel like I ate too much accidentally, sometimes you get distracted. You're talking, you're busy, you're watching TV, and then you forgot to stop eating when you felt full. And so you take that, it will help settle your food if you ate too much, and it will also help with constipation. Another thing that will
Okay,
help with constipation is magnesium. I can't remember. There's different kinds of magnesium. Again, Plume has one. It's called, I love the names of Plume. It's the same owner that owns Amble that started it. But it's called Deuce on the Loose. And my husband took it the other day. I don't really have a constipation issue anymore. I've been on it for so long that I kind of know how to manage what I'm eating and how much to eat. So I'm good. But he
okay.
just started. But he took it the other day, and within a few hours, he had his deuce on the loose.
Wow,
So
okay.
whatever the magnesium is, again, you can get a magnesium supplement anywhere. You can get it at your grocery store, whatever. But if you're looking for something that has all natural ingredients, you can just go read the ingredients on the link that I have and see if that's something for you. If not, go get it at your, I don't make bukus of money off of this affiliate or whatever. I like what they do, so I support them. But you can get any of this stuff over the counter. Let's see what
So
else. And then
real quick,
go ahead.
Real quick, Susan, if they reach out to you at Officially Susan, you give them the information to go to Amble, like to get with the doctor?
And I will support them
chat?
too. Yeah, if you use my link, I will support you. You can text me with any questions about customer service or the process or anything like that. I will walk you through it all. If you use, that's the kind of like, I get a small referral fee if you use my link. And
That's what I was going to ask, is how you
in
get paid
appreciation.
for a separate fee.
Yeah, I don't have to do that. They're not requiring me to do that. I just do that because I'm like, look, you're doing something for me, so I'm going to do something for you. Mostly it's because I am also a GLP-1 user and I understand how scary it can be in the beginning. If you don't know what you're doing, there's just so much information. There's bad information out there. There's good information. And how do you discern between the two?
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah. So, but I'm here to kind of help you along the way. Again, no medical advice given, just only like support. That's what I'm there for.
Okay. So if they
I don't charge anything for that.
Right. So if they contact you, there's no fee, but you do for your assistance, you get a referral fee, and then they will
I just get a one-time fee, but but I will continue to support you.
Do the chat with a medical doctor and get what's the term you use? The certified pharmaceutical products.
So they use FDA accredited 503A and 503B compounding pharmacies.
Okay.
The one that like in Texas or Louisiana, like we would get it from a pharmacy called Revive RX. But if you're in another part of the country, you might get it from a different FDA accredited compounding pharmacy.
Okay.
So
to your house.
The process is very easy. You go to the link. There's a little questionnaire that everybody has to answer the questions on, and you choose which one when you go to my link, tirzepatide or semaglutide, whichever one you want to use. Quick questionnaire, and then the doctor will respond with additional questions. Typically, they'll ask for a driver's license, or that might be in the first initial questionnaire. I'm not sure. And then they'll ask for a full-length picture of yourself. They don't want a naked picture of yourself, okay? So someone asked me that the other day. I was like, please do not send them a naked photo.
To be clear, especially for the chumps listening, don't send a nudie. We don't want a deep pic. Okay.
Don't send a nudie. Yeah. Just something where you can see like your general physique. Like if you were at the doctor's office and they could see, like I'm covered up in layers right now. This would not be a good picture for me to use. But if you have just like a t-shirt or leggings and a t-shirt or shorts and a t-shirt, whatever, your pajamas, whatever, something like that, just please wear clothes. Don't send a nudie. That's hilarious. And then if the doctor has any more questions, they'll text you back, but it goes over like 1 or 2 days. If you're approved, they'll charge your credit card and then they'll send you your medication FedEx. It's very simple.
And the prices. And is blood work required? Do they monitor your blood work as far as the pancreatitis?
No.
And some of those severe side effects?
No, I would recommend going to your personal physician for that.
And making sure, because also that Oprah Special, they do talk about these drugs. What I learned also, they've been around 20 years. They're not new. So it also was important for me to hear that, and also important to realize there's very few people that have these horrific side effects, but they're important. Mm-hmm. So you need to know if what are the few ones? Thyroid cancer, what are the few ones that kind of knock you out as far as not being able to take these medicines?
That's a great question. Okay, so there's and I may forget some of them, but some of the main ones is the gastroparesis, which you can avoid by stopping eating the moment you feel full. And that's going to also help teach you to eat intuitively. So if you don't want to be on this medication forever, that might help you retrain your brain and your eating process. So right off the bat, that's the first thing that I would suggest. Another side effect, the more simple side effects are constipation, diarrhea, and the burps, maybe digestive issues. Those are very mild. And honestly, in my experience, they're not any different than they were when I would overeat. Sometimes when I'm going to go out to Chewy's and I'm going to have, my cheese enchiladas and my, my queso, whatever. And I come home and I'm like, oh no, I ate too much. That's kind of the equivalent of some of the more common side effects, which are avoidable by taking a digestive enzyme. First of all, the moment oh my gosh, I overate, just pop a little digestive enzyme. I'm not sure, maybe 30.
Because I have a class that starts out here in 30 and my PT goes to
I'm sorry. Okay.
No, we'll wrap up very soon.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm in the private training room, and she's just asking me what time it'll be done. So we'll go over quickly. We'll finish it up real quick.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. So so gastroparesis is a very serious one. Now, people with type 2 diabetes, one of the side effects of type 2 diabetes is gastroparesis. So that's one of the reasons why the class action lawsuits are not really making any headway right now, because they have to qualify the patients. And it's only on Ozempic because they didn't put on the early labels that gastroparesis was a side effect. I just frankly don't think they knew.
Okay.
So it's a rare side effect. And if you have type 2 diabetes, you could have already experienced it anyway. Pancreatitis is also one that people are scared of. Right. Now, pancreatitis, the medication does not cause pancreatitis. The cause of the pancreatitis is rapid weight loss of any kind. If you are losing weight at a fast rate, it can create gallstones. And the gallstones could then get stuck between the bile duct, between the gallbladder and the pancreas, which is what causes pancreatitis.
Okay.
I personally do not have a gallbladder. I think I saw somebody in the comments say gallbladder. I don't have a gallbladder, and I do just fine on these medications.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. So I don't have a concern for pancreatitis for me, because I'm not going to get gallstones. It's just not going to happen for me. Now, the thyroid cancer, to my knowledge, there have not been any. It's medullary thyroid cancer is the one. And they've only seen it in the lab rats. They have not seen it in humans, but because it was in the lab rats, they have to say it could happen in humans. I could be wrong. My most recent research was maybe like 4 to 6 months ago, and I couldn't find any documentation of a human actually getting thyroid cancer from this medication.
Okay.
So, but again, that's a side effect that's on the label. So it's definitely something important to think about. If you have a history of medullary cancer, they typically will not prescribe this medication for you. And if you use my link to go through Amble, I believe you need to have a BMI of 27 or higher with a comorbidity, like cardiovascular, sleep apnea, type 2 diabetes, something like that, or 30 or higher, for them to approve you. So just keep that in mind if you're going. If you're wanting to take this you were mentioning people who don't have a high body weight but are still on this medication. Some people take this just for PCOS, and they may only be about 10 pounds overweight, but still look like a typical person. This is helping women who have PCOS. There are a lot of women who are getting pregnant because of these GLP-1 medications. It is reducing the inflammation in their bodies, and so a lot of people are like, make sure you're taking birth control. Another thing with these medications and birth control are they suspect, because it slows down your digestion. If you're taking birth control pills, it could slow down the absorption of the birth control pill in your body. So a lot of doctors are saying, please use a secondary form of birth control.
Okay.
If that's what you're trying to do. I'm beyond those years, so I don't kind of worry about that, but
I think we touched on most everything. The main things.
There's one that people don't really know about. Okay, this is important, and this happened to a friend of mine. She was taking Zepbound, which is the equivalent of Wegovy. Tirzepatide is, just as a reminder, is Mounjaro is the type 2 diabetes, and Zepbound is the Wegovy obesity version of it. And Ozempic is the type 2 diabetes, and Wegovy is the obesity version of it. So don't feel guilty about taking Wegovy, because it is specifically FDA approved for people to help with weight management, is what FDA calls it, weight management. So now I forgot what I was saying.
A side effect that no one knows about. You were saying
vision. If you experience double vision, stars, like you're seeing stars, or you're starting to, anything weird happening with your vision, stop taking the medication and see your doctor immediately. Now, she stopped taking it and her vision came right back. So, that was just her experience, but I'd never heard of that side effect before. And once she started experiencing that with Zepbound, I started Googling and researching it. And sure enough, it is. It's very rare, very rare. But if you start to have any problems with your visions, stop taking it and see your doctor.
And these are all things. So if we contact you at Officially Susan on social media, you will then in turn give a referral or what have you for.
You just use the link that are in my
Just use
link
the
tree,
link.
and then you can
And
DM
then
me. The best way to get a hold of me is to DM me on Instagram, because if we're not friends on TikTok, then I might not see your
Yeah.
messages. So best place to reach me is DM me on Instagram.
Right. Is there an
Yeah.
email address?
officiallysusan@gmail.com.
Perfect. Officially Susan at gmail.com. So I think we hit on the very important things, the differences between semaglutide, tirzepatide, what it can do for you, the various prices, including what your company, not your company, but
Yeah. So the company that
offers.
that's the 179, and it can go up to, how much did you say that your Wegovy was going to be out of pocket?
$1,285 is what I paid.
Yeah. So there's a huge
For 1
range.
month.
And there's other telehealth companies out there. Just make sure when you're choosing a telehealth company, whether you choose mine or whatever, that you are aware of all of the fees that they charge, because I think you mentioned some of them, like Row, Plush, they do charge for either separately for the doctor visit, or they charge a membership fee. So just be aware. And some of those companies will send you for testing, for blood testing. But I personally would recommend you go to your own family doctor, someone who knows you well. And if they're approving you to get this medication and you can't afford it, your insurance doesn't pay for it, then consider a compounding company. Don't just immediately go to a compound company, not even mine. Just try your general practitioner first. So that's just the way I want you to be healthy first.
Yeah.
And it's weird to talk to somebody, chat over the internet, if you don't know what you're doing. So go talk to your doctor first. And then if you're like, this is a go, but my insurance won't pay for it, then start looking into compound. And even if you haven't used my link for the medication, you can still message me and I'll answer the questions that, because I've been in your shoes before. I've had questions. I needed answers, and the GLP-1 community on TikTok was incredible. It really was. So if you do look up the hashtag GLP-1 community on TikTok, you're going to find a lot of creators that you can learn from.
Oh, good. And did you say you recently started a Facebook group?
I did. It's called Amble X Plume, but I haven't linked it in my link tree yet, but I will. I've actually I'm toying with the name of it. I'm not really sure I'm going to keep the name of it, because I really don't want it to be about Amble and Plume. I want it to be a supportive community for GLP-1 users of any kind. I don't care if you get the medication through a different telehealth provider, or if you get it in the name brand from your doctor and your pharmacy, wherever you're getting it from, we've got to stick together, because the way societal trauma that we have from toxic diet culture, we're still getting people who are afraid, like you were saying in the beginning, afraid to say it out loud that they're taking it, because the criticism, oh, you're just being lazy, and why can't you just, eat less and move more? There's just a lot of misinformation out there, and people don't feel comfortable talking about it openly. So my group is private on Facebook, but you can search it, but it's called Amble X Plume. But again, I really just want it to be a community about GLP-1 users, where we support each other and we answer each other's questions.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap things up very quickly. But if you have any more questions or specific things, email officiallysusan@gmail.com. Reach out to her on Instagram. The first thing, I love what you said, is to reach out to your doctor first. I would also say reach out to your insurance. Just see if by miracle it's covered. Mine is covered, but the little exclusion that I have to meet the $8,100 family deductible first, that's a little bit of a difference. I mean, most people don't have
step therapy. I don't know if you know about step therapy, but a lot of insurance companies will require you to take these lesser expensive medications like phentermine, metformin, which I think I saw someone in your comments say they've been taking metformin for a long time.
Okay.
And that is one of the original GLP-1 medications, metformin is. It's an oral medication. I believe you take it every day. Okay. My father-in-law takes it for his type 2 diabetes. And If somebody is taking, in relation to metformin, if somebody's taking a GLP-1 medication and they're a slow loser, like you're not really losing much weight, maybe a pound a month, something like that, your doctor could also prescribe metformin for you to take in partnership. So if you are already on a GLP-1 medication and you're hit a plateau or things like that, talk to your doctor about maybe adding metformin as a supplement to help kind of boost you or whatever. But plateaus, weight loss on a GLP-1 medication is not linear. It's not a straight drop down. You're going to maybe drop a little bit, level out, drop a little bit, maybe gain a little bit, drop, level. I mean, if I showed you, and I think I might somewhere on my TikTok have a visual of my carb manager where I was logging my weight. It is very much like this.
Wow.
And I hit a plateau 1 month for 3 months one time. And someone told me, recalculate your macros and focus on drinking water. And I did, and I dropped 8 pounds that week.
Wow.
So and I wouldn't have known that if it hadn't been for other supportive GLP-1 users. So that's what I want to do. I want to pay it forward. People did it for me. So I want to pay that forward to others, whether you use my company or not. I want to help you.
Right. Thank you, Susan. I really appreciate you jumping on.
And try Pilates, by the way. If you guys have never tried Pilates before, do it.
I hear great things about Pilates. I do hear great things about Pilates.
I work at Club Pilates, but there's so many other Pilates studios out there. But I love the method. I love the whole company here. It's been great. I've worked here for a year. So yeah, I love Pilates.
When you're on the GLP-1s, real quick, focus on protein, increase your water. What's one more amazing thing you would say?
Fiber.
Increase your fiber?
Yes. So fibrous fruits and veggies. Like eat a little bit of broccoli if you can, or put some spinach in. If you blend some fresh spinach with your shake, there's a lot of different shakes you can take. Core Power is one that really got me through some of those tougher days when it was really hard for me to eat. If you do not eat enough protein, you will lose your hair. So please focus on protein and collagen. Drink it if you have to. Get as close to 80 to 100 grams of protein a day, whatever your macros are. I use the Carb Manager app. There's a website, Carb Manager. If you don't want to use the app, you can use the website too. Don't pay for the version of Carb Manager. There's plenty of free options on their website you can use, but they'll sometimes trick you into thinking, oh, you have to click here to pay. No, skip it. There's a little tiny hidden word that says skip it, and that you still get plenty of options.
Love the secrets. Thank you so much, Susan. Please follow her.
It's a pleasure.
Send her message at officially Susan or officiallysusan@gmail.com. If you're up at 3 a.m. and you have a question for Susan, she'll answer it when she can.
Well, I mean, as you saw messages last night, I was messaging you at 3 a.m.
when you woke up. Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Thank you so much, Susan. Have an awesome
Thank you. I love your community. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. Anytime.
Bye.
Bye.
Let me see. I'm trying to make sure I did this right. Okay, I think I did this right. Do you see a way to get off? Okay, there she went off. It was all saying ban her. And I'm like, no, we're not trying to ban her. Okay, we are going to get off somewhat soon. Somebody asked about Saturday, how the coffee meetup went. Oh, did she get off? Hold on. Okay, she's done. How the coffee meetup went. I answered that. I think I updated in the Sarah from Texas Facebook group. 4 of us came. 2 of them I'd already met. Well, I don't want to say their names. 2 of them I'd already met, traveled with, hung out with. Another one I'd gone to dinner with. She happens to live near me. Another one was brand new that I'd, chatted with for a long time. We were at the coffee shop 4.5 hours, y'all. It was so fun. I mean, we chatted reality TV, Jeff Lewis, everything you can imagine. It was so fun. I know we had some phone calls that came in while I'm going to try to call these back and see if it was someone calling with a question. I know I had to let Susan go, so we're going to see. I have no idea. Could have been a junk call. I'm just calling this number. Hello?
Hey.
Hi, were you calling for Sarah from Texas?
Yes.
Do you still have a question or comment?
Well, you had messaged me earlier about a comment I had made on your Instagram
this
morning about the Oprah Special and the food noise, and that I had taken it for. I was on Ozempic for 6 months before I had to have surgery and get off. But I had just made a comment about that, and you had just asked me to join in.
Oh, awesome!
Just to share my story. And so if you have any questions for me about that, about my experience, but I did, before I watched the Oprah special, I did recognize that one day it just dawned on me that I wasn't thinking about food all the time.
Wow.
And I had the same response as you, in the fact that it was very emotional for me, because I didn't realize how obsessive my thoughts were. And it was, I just stopped in my tracks and just started crying, because it was such an epiphany that made such a difference in my life. And then I had to get off, had to have surgery. But I just noticed, though, during my recovery, that I was not thinking about the food still. And I still don't think about it as much. And the weight, it just really changed my whole view of food and my relationship with food.
Right.
Yeah.
So, now, are you still on? I'm sorry, I didn't even ask what your name is and where you're from.
I'm Robin from the Panhandle of Florida.
That's right.
Pensacola.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Robin, are you still on Ozempic? And if not, has it helped you still with the food, or did you need to go back on it to keep the food noise away?
I did not go back on it. I still felt like I had to lose a little bit more weight. I had gone from like 195 to like around 155, I would say, and I'm 5'8". So, but there was still just a lot. And your guest was so informative, and I think I have what was it? The lipedema or
I know.
something.
I don't know what she said. Yeah, message
my
her.
legs kind of look weird since, and it's just only been since I don't know, the last few years. And I thought, well, maybe it's just age, that my legs started looking differently. But anyway, but no, I am not on it. I did not go back on it, but it did. My weight has stayed off, and I've actually lost more weight since then, because of different things that I've maybe tweaked here and there. But it definitely, I was always a healthy eater, but I'm like you said, I would overeat even healthy food, so.
God, it's so good to talk to you, Robin. This is the thing about when people are honest with each other. You don't feel alone, and you don't.
Oh my goodness. I just have chills, because I really appreciate that too, because I thought I beat myself up my entire adult life, and I'm in pretty good shape. I'm 65, but I do yoga like 3 times a week. I ride my recumbent bike, I kayak, I swim. We're outdoors, people, and so I'm in really pretty good shape, condition for my age and everything. I don't love it when people say that, but it is true. But anyway, it just makes such a difference not to feel like you are a loser, because you are so obsessed with food, first of all, yet you don't want to eat food, but yet you're obsessed with it. So, and you just feel so bad about yourself. Yeah. And it's just so freeing. That's why I want people. And I was kind of like, I live in a small community. I did not really share with a lot of people because I just didn't think emotionally I could handle the judgment. Right. So I've been very, like, when people indicate to me that either I can trust them or that they are struggling, I will share it, my story. Because
you want to help.
But I'm because I want to help. I feel like my whole thing in life has been to try to encourage and help other women. I've done a lot of things throughout my life to do that. And I want to continue doing that my entire life. And this is just one of those things. But, it's definitely, and I did just want to make one comment. Yes. I made it in the comments, but I just want to make sure that everybody gets this is that the whole thing about people saying you're taking the easy way out.
Right.
It is not the easy way out. There is nothing easy about our struggle. When you have that food noise in your head, there has been nothing easy about your life. And when this medication takes that away from you, it is a medical and a mental health issue that if there is something out there that can help you overcome this, it is not the easy way out. It is not taking medication from other people. We deserve it as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
And I hope that these pharmaceutical companies and people that have influence like Oprah will continue to promote and share research and continue the research so that it is socially acceptable.
Yeah.
And
the more people talk about it, to me, it makes me think of, miscarriage. I had a miscarriage at 3 months before my last baby, who's now 15. Even 15 years ago, after having 4 beautiful, healthy children, I felt like I did something wrong to cause that miscarriage at 3 months. And nobody talked about it. And I would tell my friends, oh, we just had a miscarriage. And it was just like, nobody talked about it. Now they do. And of course, it makes people feel better, but also similar to like cholesterol medicine. Are you shamed for taking cholesterol medicine for the rest of your life? No, it could be genetic. What I learned from that Oprah special was that not everyone has the food noise. It's not that everyone is white knuckling it like I was. It's not everyone that was thinking about, oh my gosh, I want 3 ice creams. I don't want one. I didn't want 1 ice cream. If I could have 3, I didn't want one.
Yeah.
So this medication
and even the
helps.
food noise is different for everybody.
Yes.
And I just I do hope that it will be more. People will be more open about it.
I absolutely think so.
I'm a lead with love, walk in peace kind of person, and I don't understand all of the judgment about it. I don't know, why someone would judge
right
about something that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Like if but I don't get that. That's not my personality, but I'm just glad that you are exposing it and that you feel comfortable enough. You're very open, though, and and I appreciate that.
I just can't imagine not telling everyone what is going on with me. Like I'm kind of an open book, so I can't. To me, this is such a big deal. But I tell you, the next day I was shocked at
that was surprising to me.
Instant. I had no idea. Boom, just shut off. And to me, it's not about not eating or starving or not going out to dinner, not having fun with your friends, not going to a party. To me, it's only been 7 days, 8 days, but it hasn't affected that. I'm just doing less of what I would normally do. I had less chips and salsa at dinner Friday night. Right. I didn't want to eat 3 bowls of it, which to me, I thought if I've already had 5 chips, I might as well have 3 bowls of chips. There was no difference to me. Now there's a difference to me. And that's Wegovy.
Wonderful that you that had that effect and you had that epiphany so early on. It took me a while. You know? And I definitely but one thing that I did, so I had developed a hiatal hernia, and I had surgery in December to repair that, and I'm still having some trouble. And listening to your guest today, it made me make that connection. Did this have anything to do? Because I've not talked to my surgeon about it. I talked to my regular, my GP about it, but I had not talked to about being on Ozempic and everything. I made sure that, even though I did not go to her to get the medication, I wanted to make sure it was in my medical record.
Absolutely.
With her,
Yes, absolutely.
But I did not talk to the surgeon that she referred me to for the issues that I was having. And then I discovered that it was a hiatal hernia. And I'm wondering if it was somehow related,
what?
If she was talking about it.
Robin.
I'm very curious about that.
Good to know. I've got officially Susan. She has moved over and she's in the comments on TikTok. And so I'm curious if she'll answer that. Ask the question specifically again. Again, she is not giving medical advice. She is only giving her experience and other people's experience with it, or send her an email at officiallysusan@gmail.com and give her your specifics and she might be able to help you a little more. But if she can hear me, I'm seeing if she's going to maybe comment with an answer on that.
Yeah. Well, it's just a fascinating subject. It's a fascinating, I mean, I consider it a miracle for me what you've gone through, living your life with this up and down roller coaster, weight loss, weight gain life. It's just, it feels like a miracle.
Absolutely.
And I, like I said, I don't know if the hiatal hernia had anything to do with it, but I'm definitely struggling right now with eating and with I had to be on a liquid diet for like 3 weeks. So I did lose, more weight, but I will definitely go back on this medication if I need to. If I feel that food noise come back to me, I would not hesitate 1 second. And I think that you're sharing very good advice about seeking professional help on this.
Medical.
Okay,
so Gina, real quick, Robin, Gina on TikTok is saying hiatal hernias can develop from being overweight. I don't think officially Susan heard the question, but I'm going to let you email her at officiallysusan@gmail.com and she will, or Instagram her and she will answer that more. Thank you so much for calling in, Robin. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for providing this platform. Enjoy you.
And just so you know, Southern Bell Cell says, I want Robin to be a bestie to me. She's wonderful.
I would love it. I don't have, I don't know anyone who is into Jeff Lewis or Bravo shows and things like that in my, my friend group. Nobody. My daughter and I have been watching it since she, since it started. And, and we listen to Jeff Lewis every day and talk about it. But I'm open to having a community like this.
Oh my gosh!
If there's anyone in the Panhandle listening that's in the Panhandle of Florida, please contact me. And it's Robin at I don't remember my Instagram, but I do have Comfy Roo. I'm an adventurer. I have a patented fitted blanket. So if anybody wants to check out comfyroo.com. That would be great. But if anybody's in the Panhandle, contact me at Comfy Roo on Instagram. And
spell that for us.
I'd love to connect with somebody. Okay, I'm glad you said that because it's Comfy with a K. KOMFYROO. It is like you are in a marsupial pouch in my blanket, so it's named kind of after a kangaroo. But
oh my gosh,
so it's Comfy Roo. So yeah. So
I
check
love
that
that.
out.
I love that.
And do anybody that's listening contact me if you live in the Panhandle of Florida. I'd love to connect with people who have the same interest.
But also, Robin, through the loveliness of social media, we don't have to live near each other. We can talk on the phone. We can chat on the Facebook group, but it is fun to meet up. But so
it is fun. I was kind of jealous when you were talking about meeting up with people. I'm like, oh, that would be so fun.
It is.
I love my yoga people. I love my community.
Yeah.
But, that's one of the first questions I ask people. Do you know who Jeff Lewis is? Do you know anybody? Do you watch Bravo?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, thanks for calling in, Robin.
Well, thank you, Sarah. Have a great day.
You too. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. It's so true. Robin's lucky. Hello, Robin. I'm jealous you got a daughter that listens to Jeff Lewis Live and you can chat with her. I've got 5 children. They could give a rat's ass about Jeff Lewis for real. Comfy, KOMFYROO. Check her site out. I'm trying to read comments and TikTok and YouTube. We are going to wrap it up. Usually we go an hour. If you are here and you don't normally join us, we normally chat weekdays. It is Reality Water Cooler live at 4 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Then it goes up immediately as a replay, and there's a podcast everywhere at Sarah from Texas. But I am going to start doing more regular podcasts, if you will, where I have guests on and we talk about subjects and things. So definitely the weight loss shot is on my brain. There's a lot of people that want information about it. So I think we'll be talking about that, nutrition, health, hormones, everything. It is January. So we want to talk all the health stuff because, in July, we won't give a shit and we'll be eating hot dogs, 4th of July. But for now, lots of other stuff. We want to chat, advice. I mean, just so much stuff. So anyways, okay. I'm trying to read. Yes. Robin said she shared loads of knowledge. Kathy said, thank you so much. What is romantic topper? What is this? I don't know what y'all are talking about. Romantic Narragansett. I don't know what you're saying. Lori said, I started 2 weeks ago, lost 7 pounds the first week, 1 pound the second week, no food noise. It's unbelievable. And honestly, to me, like I said, I'm going to like Oprah. Oprah is my girl. I mean, I wanted to be the white Oprah when I was in high school. So I grew up loving Oprah, still do. But this Oprah Special, Shame, Blame, and the Weight Loss Revolution, find it, watch it. It's only an hour. It's only about 40 minutes without the commercials. It's eye-opening. It really, to me, the only way I can explain it is alcohol or drugs. If you don't white knuckle every day and force yourself to only have 3 beers or not do something, I don't have that issue at all. For me, it was food. And I don't call it a food addiction because it wasn't to that level. But when you have a medicine that's been around for 20 years, lots of medicine options to help with that and help you make healthier choices, why not? And honestly, reach out to Officially Susan. She has 2 years of experience on this. She's willing to help you. But the company that she's affiliated with, that's the lowest price I've ever heard of. And I love that she knows the FDA certified stuff, that she wants to do it the right way with the right pharmacies and everything. So reach out to affiliates, Officially Susan. My brain went blank. Anyways, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you're following me everywhere at Sarah from Texas Podcast. Give a thumbs up, tap the hearts on the TikTok. I don't normally go TikTok live anymore. I haven't done it in a while, but I like going live on TikTok, but it will go up as a podcast at Sarah from Texas if you didn't hear it all, or the replay is on the video at the YouTube channel, Sarah from Texas Podcast. And we will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern to chat all the reality TV, Jeff Lewis Live, celebrity news, all the things. See y'all there. Bye, y'all. Thank you again, Officially Susan. Bye, y'all.